Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today we're streaming with strangers, but this is no stranger at all. This is my good friend James Felty of vidyen.com. That's vidyen.com. And he is a big supporter and attender of the Bitcoin PHL meetups. So shout out to James Felty. How goes it, bro? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
It goes.
Let everybody know who you are,
Yeah.
how you got into this
Uh,
space, and what you're doing in the industry.
yeah. My name's James Felty, James Felty Douglas for short, but James Douglas is a very common name. There's a gazillion of those, so just call me James Felty. Um, I am I guess, the lead developer and admin of vidyen.com. It's I kind of back in 2017, I was hearing a lot of my friends who were into YouTube and people I watched like we're all being demonetized, blah blah blah. So I kind of had the idea to kind of see if I could come up with a system uh, that would help them out. At the same time, that's when I got into crypto, and I think that's where I met you through Brandon Rosano. He was basically I had seen like on CNBC, like while I was still working a corporate job, that they were saying, "Oh my God, Bitcoin 5,000." And so there's maybe something to this. And then I saw a thing at a meetups like this guy Brandon. He was like literally just giving away $5 of crypto, and then I showed up, and that's pretty much from there. I've been in the scene since. Um, so yeah, I kind of have been working on kind of alternative ways to monetize content. And it kind of branched away because eventually I think everyone kind of got over the idea that, all right, well, we hate YouTube, we're going away from YouTube, but I think BitTube's coming around, but still compatible, I guess, with pretty much anything. Um, the idea is that I kind of away from, the idea was, people, you're behooving to the advertisers. And that's why a lot of people are getting demonetized because like you cursed or you said something or just generally they didn't like you or you didn't make enough hours. The advertisers are just like, no, they're not getting any money. And I heard somebody, because I did watch a lot of these channels, and the guy was like, well, look, I only make 50 cents a month, but that means something to me. I'm my little effort means something. If I'm not getting anything, why am I just, I'm not doing it for the, the likes at this point. So, yeah, I kind of still continue with it. And I kind of branched off in the world of called reward sites, which I made a little video at the top of vidyen.com. Um, Hopefully not over explaining things with what that is, but I also hang out with a lot of gamers. A lot of these guys are, like they're still in high school or they're college or they live in their parents' basement. I'm not going to name any names with those people that I know that do that over in Europe. There's a lot of those people. And the issue is that because wasn't the only person that knew a corporate job, I would get asked a lot to like buy Steam cards, the STEAM for the Valve stuff. Um, and I kind of got tired of that because like, you're my friends, and if I want to play like a new game with you, I have to buy the game every single time. And it's like, all right. So it wasn't my idea. There's actually, I think it's called eloot.gg. I don't know if he's still around, but he was the first site that I saw make a reward site. Basically, rather than having like a content where you watch people's videos or something like that, and you're the content creator, you're literally just watching an offer wall doing surveys, and you're earning like 3 pennies every 3 ads or so, probably less than that. And eventually the idea was that his idea was you get like a Steam CSGO, very low cost item that doesn't really cost him. He's not mailing it to you. He's just giving you like a code that you get like a CSO or Counter Strike Go skin. And you also, if you did it hard enough, you get like a $5 Steam, and that's not much, but there's a lot of during a Steam sale you can get like a $5 game. So um, I kept getting asked for that, so eventually I kind of rolled into a plugin, um, which, if you look at it, you can do like regular ads, which is boring to a lot of people. Which there's actually a twist at the end. I'll tell you later about it. But you can just watch ads, do survey. Not really much with crypto, um, but I kind of I kind of give my history while I was kind of coming up with this idea back in 2017. I heard that was an article. Well, I think it was either on Wired or something like the one about Pirate Bay is like the first use of CoinHive. It basically said that people were visiting Pirate Bay, and all of a sudden their CPU fans were going 100%. Their batteries were draining on their phones. They had no idea why this was happening, and then it was discovered that Pirate Bay installed CoinHive miners, and I think I thought to myself, that's terribly unethical because no one knew. They didn't tell any. The thing was, they didn't tell anybody. They just literally just stuck it on there. But yeah, but the thing was, Pirate Bay can't get advertisements. They've been like, not only have they been debanked, they literally there's no one's going to work with them, and so they were just doing CoinHive to see if they could get any money off of it. But I guess they kind of did it the wrong way. And I thought to myself, like, look, if you turn that down to where maybe you're mining like, you know, a not don't mine 100% where it locks up their computer and drains their battery. But one second. I just realized I was running on battery power on my laptop, and that's why I was acting up.
Oh man, there you go.
Yeah, we're about to lose me. All right. Yeah. All right. Cool. So the story with the I thought to myself, well, what if you could actually have like an opt-in screen and there was some type of notification or reward system, which I kind of used for the original Vidian idea. I think there's some videos floating around that I kind of demoed it where you'd watch points and rather than like buying things, you just give, you know, upvote videos of the points you earned. But the idea was I ended up talking to CoinHive a lot, learning. At the time, I hardly knew any code. Don't ever say you can't learn to code in 6 months, but you can't. I tried to like just outsource a lot of stuff and it became so frustrating. I just like learned it myself. So I talked to the CoinHive devs and I worked. Well, I didn't really work with them. They just answered my emails up to a point. Eventually, they stopped talking to me because either they got too popular or I got too annoying. But
It,
that they I got a really cool system working and it worked great. But running a site that was specifically a YouTube creator or competition site was not viable in the long run. No, like the problem was
yeah.
wasn't the content creators, is that everyone that I knew that was like a user, they wouldn't spend their points on the to reward
Yeah, so they're not
the
using it
you
in
know
the ecosystem, right?
yeah, they're basically there's I made a store and auction page where you like bid on like, you know, even like crypto down, like even like you buy a little bit of Litecoin back when it was still well, I wouldn't say still used, but it was it was a lot more expensive back then. And other little things like gift cards, no one would like give points to the content creators. They would literally just mine and earn it themselves and like, wait, this is probably not going to work out. So I got to figure out a different game theory with that. So in the process, I kind of created a plugin because I didn't want to scrap all the code that I did. And I realized because people would ask me for like stuff that I didn't want to do, like political sites or some, you know what I mean, sites that I really couldn't, you know, be at a WeWork and have it on my screen. So I kind of just it's like, all right, I'll put it on WordPress and you can do it that way. I really didn't know how to monetize it until I realized I had a user ask me if I could use what they call WebMiner, or it's called WebMiner Pool. It's like an MIT license. I think it was originally a silent miner, and I just pulled it apart and had a friend or person off Upwork help me out with it, and I started running. Basically, became my own CoinHive company. Well, basically, I run my own CoinHive pool.
Dude, I love
But I
CoinHive, man. That's awesome though.
Yeah, so I guess I am a CoinHive competitor right now. Basically, I got it in a way that you don't have to. It doesn't get blocked by ads. It actually mines to a regular Monero pool. I think the one problem that always bugged me about CoinHive is I think they actually make money on people who just give up getting to the minimal withdrawal. Uh, and whereas with like I use a pool called Monero Ocean. You could probably take this code and use any Monero pool, but Monero Ocean is like a spec mine where they mine like all the bunch of altcoins like Masari and God knows what else, and then they just pay you in Monero. It's kind of like a nice hash, but it's actually pays you and not get hacked and steal your money. No offense to nice hash, I never got my Bitcoin back, but I should check. It wasn't that much, but the thing that I like about it is that you can get your minimum payout by, you could have your site and you have browser miner, and then you could actually mine to your GPU. And I wouldn't say a secret side project. I kind of want to tie in my point system that somebody could use a GPU miner and mine to your wallet, and you can pay them like, in points or something, or when I say points, I'd say that because I talked to a lawyer when I first did this, like, well, I don't want to get sued So it's like, what if we don't call it, like, it's not an IC, points are not an ICO, they're not even crypto, they're just like decimal points on a place. It's like video game gold. It's like World of Warcraft money. It's literally, it can be worth something to somebody, but it's not recognized as money. If you like delete an account or give your friend, like, for whatever reason, you can you're not in the being sued, I guess, or taken to court by the SEC. Basically, we used a on my if you look at the VidYen, we kind of like used like a boilerplate from an actual person on LegalZoom who did video games, and they basically used like, well, these your currency is not worth anything, but in a sense, it's supposedly for use transactions. And I'm not the centralized site that's doing this. Basically, you create a WordPress site and you come up with a point system. And I've seen anything from like zombie points, or some people actually do use coins. I do know some users who actually just they name their coins cryptocurrency. And back to the other thing, I do know a user that actually he has people watch ads and he pays them out in crypto.
I was just
Um,
about to ask if you could just, instead of using
yeah,
points, you could use a cryptocurrency, right?
yeah, I'm gonna do a shout out because he's more just like a regular developer. He tells you to read the FAQ, but he will talk to me. And it's not, and he was helpful when there's a plugin called oh, I can't spell today. It's dash slug. This dude is like a crazy genius or a he likes to live on the edge. Why is it not loading? Maybe give like a screen share where you can just pull up dash lug. Hold on, let me Google it, make sure I'm getting this right. Dashed. Come on. Oh, there it goes. That's really weird. My computer. Oh, I guess it's the streaming on the Wi-Fi here. Is this like really slow? Not like an Ethernet cable in here, is there? I can just use that instead. I guess not. Um, yeah, the dash slug. Okay, this is also a free WordPress plugin, and he basically can turn your WordPress site into an exchange. And I had a user ask me, like, can I want to pay out crypto automatically? And I said, well, maybe you should just like, put an item on your WooCommerce store, because my plugin ties into that. You can use my point system to pay for credit on a WooCommerce store, which is basically the default de facto if you have a WordPress site, you install WooCommerce 90% of the time. And that's how you sell like your t-shirts or whatever you want to sell. And it has support for virtual items. So I'll just write down like a note saying, I owe you some money, and just send it to him manually. But this guy actually made some plugins that you can literally, he's not into mining or reward. So he's not even like remotely competitor, but basically I talked to him and he gave me this function API list and said, well, all right, so if I have a user watch 3 ads, they earn 1,000 points for watching these ads. I can basically talk to his API, and the user who installs this can, get basically my plugin does an off-chain transaction on the WordPress server, and it basically does a user. Basically, you have like a bank user where all your crypto is like like your admin user, and it does a user to user and then deducts the points. So it basically transfers from the admin to the other user on the SQL server, and then they can get a call to do the blockchain transaction.
So
Word of
your
warning:
your
this is
website's an exchange.
yeah. This guy has done some other stuff. This guy doesn't. He thought it was a cool idea. He's not really into it. He has actually added fiat adapters, so you could if you're going to interview this guy, be kind of, I would recommend it. He basically installed a fiat coin extension. I don't know, this is like not, I think this is probably not something you can run in the United States. If you installed the fiat coin adapter and then ran this, but for most intents and purposes, yeah, this is
But it
basically a
is
running exchange.
doable. That's all.
Yeah,
That's the
it is
point.
yeah, it is complex, and he's got some big red letters in the admin panel that says secure your site, because whatever your keys are on your site. There's options on there for cold storage, but it's complex, and I don't think most people
So on
they probably
vidyen.com, can I go and do a live stream, and while people are watching my live stream, I can mine crypto in the background
oh
or
yeah
earn crypto?
let's stop advertising my the guys, the other people's stuff. One second, it's
Well,
not.
I'm just curious, like, so
Yeah.
you can do a live stream on Vidyen, and then when people
Yeah.
go and watch, I can have it go and monetize their computers' processing power and earn
Oh yeah, yeah.
cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that is the other thing. Like the Dash Slug, he just kind of does like the generic exchanges and just probably talked about him too much, but check him out if you want to run your own exchange. But yeah, my thing is more about mining. Let me see if I can get something pulled up. Now I'm just going to show it to the admin panel because I think opening Brave this and the streaming on this laptop's through 2015, and if I'm going to do some mining, it's not going to be great. Maybe you should do it on your computer. All right, one second. Oh, come on. Let me go to pages. Oh, come on. Can I move this? Bear with me one second. I'm moving around my screen. All right. Let's go to pages. And this is pretty easy to set up. Like the main thing is actually just getting a WordPress server somewhere. I've seen some for $3. I mean, if you have a friend with a WHM server, they can give you out one for free. These are all my test pages. One second. I put you in here already to do a test setup. Uh, got our URL.
For my website?
Sorry. For your for the video that's playing.
Oh, right now, YouTube.
Or any video. Yeah, let's go to YouTube.
YouTube.com/Ken Bozak.
/Ken Bozak, right. So let's say we got one. So one of my ideas, and it kind of evolved. Originally, there was just like a miner. You click and you mine, you earn points. But somebody, the one that talked about the Twitch part, but somebody that he wanted, or like I haven't seen him since, but basically he needed content to like, distribute, and he didn't want to have his do this.
Yeah, the audio seems to be getting really choppy. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
It was because it was loading that site there. It's not this live stream here.
Yeah, let me close Discord because I think that might be slowing me down. All right, is there anything else I can slow down? All right, one second. All right.
I seen you in Acapulco. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So the guy was
That's not the live stream. That stream won't be live for a long time.
Sorry.
Yeah, that is a scheduled live stream. Our live stream should be the next tab. Now live, right there. See it right there? James Felty, your name.
Oh, how about, is this video?
Nope, one more.
Streaming with strangers?
No, the one right here where we're live. Down.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry. There we go.
Right, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Shout out to Full Time Geek. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And he sent me Steam Monster booster packs. Thank you. Much appreciated, bro. And I was going to bring up, like, you know, how awesome would it be if Steemit.com would introduce this ability to, you know, monetize that, where you could mine in the background while people are, like, reading your blogs.
Bear with me one second. I'm thinking, is this it? All right. I realized I was in the regular directory. All right. Because I think the browser crashed and put me back in there annoyingly. All right. And warning, that username on the main site will generally ban anyone that tries to log into it on the main site. This is just like a custom folder. All right. So one second. Dashboard. Sorry, I should have this live before I set this up, but
I guess I wouldn't know the URL
cool. Until it happened. We'll do it live.
Yeah, right, man. So, we're doing it live.
Basically, I've got the plugins already installed. Let me share that really quick on the WordPress. Basically, the WordPress itself, that was like a 10-year it's like an open source company. And here's all the plugins I've installed. The VDN stuff. So basically, like, you have WordPress on Looks like I installed dash log while I was here. Hopefully that won't cause a problem. But so you go here, you're in WordPress, you just type in Vidyen, and you can just, this is basically, I had to get approved on the WordPress repository. They're all installed, but you basically just click install, activate. That's pretty much all you do. They're free and open source.
And then right then and there, all you do is put in a Monero address, and when people
Um,
visit your website, you're mining.
well, they use a system called shortcodes, and I kind of avoided using a GUI because that touches databases and not as memory intensive. But basically, if in the WordPress world, there is something called a shortcode. It's like programming, but it's not like 50 lines of code. It's basically like, it's probably like a paragraph. Probably not even that. And let's see. There we go. Did hash Ken Bozak. Hopefully I didn't lose my copy and paste. So edit. So basically you create a page on WordPress and you do what they call a shortcode. Oh, why is my computer so slow? Is there no Wi-Fi in here? All right. Sorry, I got a conference room at WeWork, but it's not. It is. I don't know. It's weird. All right. So basically, you create a shortcode block. It's kind of like you ever use Squarespace, maybe? I don't know.
I've
Wix
checked
might
it
be.
out. I actually prefer GoDaddy because it's so stupid easy.
Oh,
But
yeah. Well, basically, you can choose like paragraph blocks or whatever. But shortcodes are like these little things where you just type like a bracket, like the name of the shortcode, and then you have these attributes like this. This is your wallet. I think we've had before. I guess you can donate to Monero to that if you want. So, I've got the video. All right. So I think this is the old test video we were doing like before the stream. All right, there we go. And we'll just update. And I think I left debug mode. Yeah, debug's on. Normally they wouldn't see the debug stuff, but that we can see the mining pool. So view page, yeah. And I might have to accept it. Nope, don't have to accept a cookie. Play. And we're just press play to begin. I'm hoping this works live. Yep, spooling up and working. And let me show you the console. I hit Control Shift J. All those arrows are the U block. It's basically blocking. Oh, my resolution. My Wi-Fi is bad here, so all my resolution's bad. So so basically it's mining, it's working. It takes a little bit to spool up because CoinHive, and I've talked, well, I kind of asked them and they weren't very familiar. Sometimes I think CoinHive just lies about the hash rate and they just make it up like it looks like it's making hashes, but it's just, it doesn't, but they have a 20% fee and they're not really telling you how much is on their pool. So it's pinging Monero Ocean, there's some activity. I need to get a new laptop. I would have loved to do this on my gaming PC, so I will just wait on it. But generally, I would recommend, I mean, it's okay to do it on your phone and laptop, but it's generally something that I would make sure that you're kind of conscious about. It's kind of like if you're mining, like you're mining whatever, like on your GPU and you're trying to play a game at the same time, you just have to kind of be aware of what you're running all at the same
so
time.
this is on vidyen.com. It says it up top /Ken Bozak. So I assume you created like a username and password and that's Ken Bozak's account. That so if they go to my username on vidyen.com and people watch my live stream, I could earn Monero.
This is just a directory. I mean, you can sign up with a username, but literally there's no KYC. Basically, you just need an address. So basically, let's say a WordPress site, you actually don't have to sign up with Monero Ocean. Bear with me one second. I almost want to turn uBlock off so I stop getting the error messages. It actually is working. It's getting you jobs. If I were to look at the thing, let's see what else is going on. Ping Monero Ocean. Come on. It's a little bit. The other thing is I'm actually talking to the pool directly, so it does take a little bit to go in. But usually, if you're watching a video, you're not too concerned. The rewards will come through eventually, and it also kind of like I mentioned, it avoids the one of the reasons why I kind of use the WordPress system is that it can do curl calls between, or that's actually a remote server to server rather than client to server. So your WordPress site talks to Monero Ocean, which it's doing right now, unless Monero Ocean's API is down, which has happened on occasion, which is not my fault, but I can Discord and like, hey, your API is down. But generally, if his API is down, you're still getting your hashes. It's just the reporting is not. So let me just see if I can actually see. Let's say. Good thing I did. No. Shares.
Now, you brought up an important topic there when you said there's no KYC. So,
Yeah.
what would potentially stop somebody like me from like hosting Ninja, you know, who gets a bunch of views on my Vidyen account and people, you know, tuning in there to watch it instead of tuning into his Twitch?
All right. So, well, that's the thing. You don't need a Vidyen's just a demonstration site. You don't have to like. I don't usually let people come on here and just like. It's not meant for people to log on and embed their own videos. This is for people to set up their own sites and do their own thing. Usually, the intent is that it's for people who've been demonetized to set up their own website. This is what I'm trying to say is this is pretty much a demonstration site, and I'm just happening to use your wallet. You know, how old is this wallet, by the way? I just thought of something.
I don't know. I think when Edge Wallet started accepting Monero, I created that Monero wallet.
Was it before the fork?
Probably.
All right, let me just test something really quick because I may have to demonstrate with my wallet because there is something that people aren't aware with. If you're mining, some of the legacy wallets don't. And I kind of forget about that every now and then until a user like pops up. So I'm going to go to Monero Ocean. Then we're actually going to look at the pool. All right, one second. I'm going to pause for right now because we should have had hashes by now. And let's just see. So basically, Monero Ocean doesn't ever ask for any KYC information. You just tell them, this is my wallet, you pay to it. Right. And they warn it. And there's a way to actually log in for like if you want your miners to like.
So basically, if I wanted people to go to kenbozak.com to watch my live stream, instead of going to YouTube, when they go to my website, because I can use the Vidyen plugin on WordPress, I can start mining in the background of their computers and start getting the payout to my Monero address.
Yeah, that's correct. Basically, the idea is that it's decentralized, where people don't come to Vidyen other than to download the plugin.
Gotcha.
And then they install it on their own website, or they can get it from WordPress.org.
Right, and then at that point, that's where, you know, the regulations would step in if I was trying to steal intellectual property by hosting somebody else's content on my website. The server wouldn't allow me to do that for long, so it wouldn't go on. So it's really, you know, not something Vidyen's responsible for.
I mean, if you were doing somebody else's content, you could get reported, I guess. Well, here's the other thing, and I kind of wondered about this myself. When you embed a video, you still get the ads. So if you're still making ad money and somebody's like directing users to watch your videos over and over again, as long as their user base isn't statistically all using Brave or uBlock. So
yeah, definitely.
That's just generally, you don't want to like have everyone do that video, but really there's no way you can actually prevent people from embedding your videos on any website, I guess. There was a way on Vidyen, the original, because what we did was actually had you log in through Google and verify the account that way. But this is pretty much prevent like us having your information. You pretty much get the URL to your video and you plug it in. This basically ties in for the API. I'm going to go ahead and try like one of my other videos and just just show you what it looks like. Just a word of warning, I think you got to make sure. Let's do that example. Hopefully, I know this has music on it. All right, so this is not using the. Hold on one second. Let me edit this page. Actually, let me, hold on. I'm just going to grab the wallet and stick it back on the other one. I think the issue is that because Monero changes its hash, its algorithm, and they're going to have to change it again. I don't know if you were seeing on the Monero Ocean. 795 is like really high, and if you pay attention to the Monero Reddit and IRC, they're kind of freaking out. Where is this hash rate coming from? 1 second, I got this still. 330, I think. 1 second.
What would you suspect is causing the hash rate to go up so much?
The initial reaction was maybe they got ASICs again, but they're not sure because no one, like, Bitmain, announced we're gonna make, they did the original, and kind of everyone got burnt with that because as soon as they made the Monero ASIC with the Bitmain, they forked the algorithm. This was back in spring of last year.
So yeah, they probably learned to keep it close to chest if they ever do it again.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna mine to like my own wallet, and hopefully it won't.
Oh no worries. I want to see what it looks like when it actually completes and gets a payout.
So,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. So what you want is, well, definitely if you need help getting a new Monero address, you have to kind of.
What do you think about Free Wallet, the XMR Free Wallet?
I've used it, but my Monero actually has an iOS app now, I think.
I have an Android device.
What is it? I think check. My Monero actually has a. They have I wouldn't say a truly trusted, but they're generally a. How would you say? They're a known party to be not going to screw you over. So let me close this out because we're not going to use that address. Let's try this again. All right, try the stream. And the thing goes from, it's blowing up, connecting, and so it's actually mining the background. Yeah, it's working. Well, I'll know in a little bit, but sometimes the Monero Ocean API, since it's what they call CN Kryptonite API, it's pretty much the same across the board. It only updates every minute or so. Where I think CoinHive had the incentive to show people that it was working, I don't feel like I should just make up hashes and just hope it's right. So it's basically every 30 seconds it's going to ping Monero Ocean. It's like, hey, do we got anything yet? It's getting jobs.
So what does that mean, new job?
So basically, in the blockchain of Monero, when the pool has not every miner on the pool is going to be able to mine a block. So what the pool does is divide it up into jobs and sends it out to everyone on the network. And some people get repeat jobs to cover all the, if you're mining and your computer shuts off, and so they're mining a part of the block. So I guess that's the best way. But obviously, your browser mining, you're not going to be able to mine the entire block. So
right.
So
but it contributes to the decentralization of securing the network.
Yeah. Might be bad because I just realized something might be happening with. It might be a global thing, not my fault.
Nah, man.
Unless the hash rate on the server has gotten really problematic right now. That there's a.
I was just saying, the hash rate.
It's kind of I don't know, people freaking out. They're turning their miners off. Well, they just kind of give I'm actually loading up Discord. Actually, I need to do something really quick. I need to actually extend this room. 1 second. We work. So it's getting new jobs.
He's got a bunch right there.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Did I actually? It's possible I didn't copy and paste right. No, I didn't. I wish I had the other. I wish I had the other room. Hold on, I'm just actually checking something really quick. This, let me actually change the video as well, just because I don't know if it was a live stream. Like, because I mentioned that earlier, the live stream part might. All right, let me just do some quick testing.
Well, you weren't. It says press play to begin right there, and it says, you know, instead of working.
Yeah, it actually it'll switch modes.
That's pretty cool.
So the WebSock is actually working. I wanted to, hold on, let me actually get this. And what time is it now? 2:49. All right, I need to book one more. Space server disk. This might have not ended well as I'd like. No, it accepted it. All right, so it was the. All right.
Yeah, pull accepted hash. There it is.
All right. Yeah. So I was kind of like worried it's not working, but then at the same time, just a side note, and this is going to be fixed. And it's just, if you get into the Monero world, you kind of have to accept how this is. Everyone's trying to attack Monero, from Bitmain to governments. Just one second.
Well, that's why I think this is an important topic to bring up, like, you know, with being demonetized and censored. I don't know if it's a real news article, but I saw it earlier, and I want to get back to it, about how they're banning porn in the UK on the internet.
Oh yeah.
That's real? That's crazy.
So it's possible.
Well, I was just thinking, like, as a content creator in the entertainment world, you know, you could use your own website and use something, you know, like VidYen plugin through your WordPress, and when you're live streaming on, you know, if I were to do kenbozak.com adult entertainment, I could keep up my day job, if that's my day job, in the UK.
Yeah, that is true. It's basically, it is a way to avoid KYC. And it's accepting hashes. Yeah. Just a word of warning. I don't know much about Edge Wallet. It's just that I think it's possible when they forked that there's certain parts of the ring that no longer work. Because I've run into that before, where users are like, "Well, it's not mining anymore," or it never mines. And I looked at it and I asked the guys from Monero Ocean, or I don't know who they are, but they're generally responsive and they do pay you. So he looked at it and said, yeah, it's an older address, it won't work. So maybe one day we can do like a Monero workshop to tell you how to best way to create an address. But I think my Monero, Cake Wallet, and anything that's come out in the past month, but beware, they're definitely going to try doing a fork now. Oh yeah, now I've got the hash rate. It's pulling now. So it's kind of like, if you're the admin, you kind of have to go ahead and, you know, be somewhat knowledgeable about Monero. But you're right, this is a way to like totally post your videos. You probably couldn't have your WordPress server in the UK.
Well, you could have your website server somewhere else around the world and stream to it from anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, you could stream anywhere, or it's pretty much, this. I guess let me give you a talk of the party. So the parties are the end user, which is watching. They're on this page. You're watching your stream, but you've convinced them. You say, like my page, go to my Monero page, or whatever you want to call it, and just watch the video there. So I earn Monero, because they won't let me. They're not paying me, or it's illegal in my country, or And then they just do this. It's very small, especially on this laptop. It's 3 hashes. But let's say you had like 1,000 users. That's 3,000 hashes, which is like, might as well be. It's like a free gaming PC that's a really high-end gaming PC that's you're mining for you. That's totally doesn't cost you any electricity. Costs the users electricity. They're doing it for you, and
Well, this concept even caught the mainstream's attention. I believe Twitch and NVIDIA teamed up to incentivize gamers that were streamers to mine with their background excess computing power, because they have such high-end machines, and they would pay them off for mining for their pool. I'm pretty sure it was NVIDIA and Twitch that did this.
I haven't heard anything recently about that. I guess the main thing is that you still have to be beholden to their terms of service, I guess, or do you have to be a part? I never actually became a Twitch partner, but I heard somebody talk about it. isn't there? I don't. You might be more familiar with this. You have to have like 1,000 views or users or something like that, or
Yeah,
you
no,
know, the
there's some red velvet rope for sure, and a high criteria that
yeah.
you have to make in order to actually monetize your channel.
Okay. Um, so, but yeah, this pretty much is out of the box. I was going to explain the party. So there's your end users that's mining. Actually, the hash actually goes up over time as the server realizes you're not messing with them, and it gives you more jobs. Um, but there's the user. Pretty much, they can be in whatever browser. I aimed at gamers with higher end PCs, so they'll hopefully be better. Like on my gaming PC, I get like 30 to 40 hashes depending on the network difficulty of the day. It is going down slightly because back to the Monero issue, but let's talk about more about the parties. I want to finish this thought out. So then there's a site owner. He's the person that owns the WordPress site. Like literally, if you have content and you can watch a YouTube video, you can learn how to use WordPress in an hour, and then I've seen WordPress sites cheap as $3. You can pay like $15 for the deluxe package where they help you out with it. Or if you have a friend, I have like a $50 package and I get like unlimited bandwidth and all the test servers. They can give you a free site. Um, but, uh, no advertising. Well, if you need a site, Ken, just let me know. So there's that, and then there's I call it miner pool or web miner pool server. Basically, the pools were designed for graphic card and CPUs. They were never intended for what do you call browser miner. That was kind of tacked on after CoinHive did it. People were like, CoinHive is a good idea, but we don't like them. So they were like, but so my thing is I run it like a web miner pool. So basically, you have the code, it talks to the end user talks to my server, and I say, and then my server goes to the pool and is like, hey, I got some people that want some jobs, and I send the jobs to the client. Client sends to me, and I send the answers back to the hash results back to the pool, and the pool says, oh, this is great, sends it back. And then so the pool is where I'm getting the stats. Originally, I kept the stats on my server, but the issue was if I had to lose my ISP, I wasn't in the business of. It was a pain.
Can you see the contributions from multiple people viewing that stream? So I see you're getting working 7 hash. DJ Me Popsicle says that he actually went to vidyen.com and he says it's working. So he wanted to know if there's any way to see the contributions.
Yeah, make sure that you're on this page. If you want to see everyone, I got the debug mode on. Generally, you just have to go to your wallet. Currently, I guess it's mining to me. Let's go back to Monero Ocean.
Is there any way to see how many people are viewing that live stream on Vidyen?
Not on Vidyen. Oops, sorry. I just Googled my own wallet address. But on Monero Ocean, because I'm not in the business of like tracking who's watching videos. I'm in the business of like mining, and I leave that to Monero Ocean. I used to track it myself, but I was talking to the people at Monero Ocean, and their API is a lot better than what I was thinking on my side. So I kind of just like, why don't I just tie it into there? Okay, hold on, let me just delete yours. This is our test wallet. So, oh, come on, it's being slow today. There's a lot of people that use this site too. So I'm always curious, like, to meet up with this guy, but I don't know where he is or what he does. All right, so currently it's got your user may need to refresh the page if it's still
he said he couldn't find that particular live stream. He was watching another video on Vidyen. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it'll all be in a wallet. Can you see this link right here? Can I post that to your chat?
Yeah, post it in the YouTube chat or wherever you can.
Right. Oh, why is it not?
But yeah, it was being displayed up in the top corner on my live stream.
Yeah. Well, I kind of put it in a subdirectory. Hold on one second. How do you actually chat in this app? Right-click somewhere? Hold on, I know where to go. There we go. Chat. Or chat. I'm gonna paste it in you. You can paste it.
Got it.
This is the link they need to go to. They can keep in mind, I for the live stream, the Ken Bozak folder is not tied into the regular website, so you'd have to like re-register. I do that because when I'm live streaming, if I'm in the admin panel, I don't want to show everybody's email addresses or the admin accounts. So basically what I did is I made a folder and deleted all the user accounts that are signed up, and then renamed the admin accounts. So
There we go. I shared the link in the live stream.
yeah.
So even after this video is live, will that video be posted there and people can go back and watch it?
I'm not entirely sure. Do the URLs change when YouTube finishes? That's the main issue. Is that
I don't think though. I'm pretty sure it stays the same.
Okay. No, it's the shortcode system static, so it's not too dynamic. But it's pretty much hit edit the page and rechange the URL. But you'd have to know the URL to start with, which, once you start live streaming, just copy and paste it, hit save, and tell everyone to refresh the page, and it's good. Now, they'll have to be logged in to see the stats. This is actually the reward system.
Look at that, 9 hash.
Oh, yeah, it's speeding up now. The one thing about the reason I always thought CoinHive kind of like cheated on the hashes is because it was always the same, and either that was the hashes that were being worked, not accepted, and they just paid you at random. This is actually hashes that are being accepted by the pool, which is quite different. Unfortunately, low-end computers tend to have like non-complete jobs. Even like GPUs get hashes. Like I've had ASICs get hashes rejected every now and then, just depending on the pool. It's not like you shouldn't freak out if but it's generally you're getting the true hash rate rather than whatever CoinHive is saying you're getting.
I wonder if there's a way to do like a third-party like super chat option for YouTube or something where, or even with Twitch, when people go to donate money on Twitch for live streamers. So I could do this on kenbozak.com, embed all the the live stream, and have the buttons to tip right there from my website. So I could, have the engagement of Facebook or YouTube and Twitter, all that with the chat right there and everything. But being able to monetize, because this is perfect for gamers. Like this is 100% like the missing tool in a gamer's entrepreneur toolbox.
Yeah. On the Twitch version of this, I did add a short code so you could embed the chat on the page directly. I didn't do it for YouTube because I don't do I hardly ever do the YouTube chat. Fortunately, I only do things that I like or know. So I didn't add the chat feature to YouTube. I'm sure it's on there if I look at the API.
You should check out Restream. Restream grabs it all from one source.
That'd be an interesting way to tie that in. I got to figure that out later. All right, so it is still work. Unfortunately, well, basically, just to let you know, basically, if you log in with the VDN point system, which is a reward site, basically, I am being rewarded if I can get a point if I earn 10,000 hashes, which I guess now that it started working, I wonder how long that is. You can adjust this number. I put 10,000 because, like on my gaming PC, it's not that long. But I guess on the laptop from 2015, it's.
Hey man, it's still not far from earning a point, but like when you have one, what can you do with it?
Well, the VDN point system is designed to work with other systems. There's some other store systems in place like MyCred, GamingPress, and WooCommerce, which literally, can I see it from here? Oh yeah, like don't look at make it look like that. All right. So basically, I have a virtual store. This is basically my store for like my plugins. You can anything that's virtual. I mean, you could technically sell T-shirts, but I don't think you'd make up the margin in shipping. But let's say you have like, you could do MP3s, pictures. Like most WordPress site hosting plans has unlimited bandwidth, so you could even do like non-fungible tokens. Then even that would be perfect for this. Well, with WooCommerce, you need like code like.
Well, Wax.io, with Wax.io, you could have a private key that entitles you to a pair of Yeezys on the blockchain.
I've actually had a conversation with a user on that. That was one of my recommendations before I found Dashslug. But with Dashslug, you could literally, I don't have it on my site because I don't keep it on. It's like one of those things that I can't test with users legally, I guess is the best way to put it. So could you
So with the
But
rewards is basically what the viewer is getting paid out
yeah, this
in,
is what
and
the
I'm getting paid out in the
you're
Moneros.
getting paid out in Monero. Let's see what Monero Ocean says. Like this is like my test wallet for the development.
Dude, I think that point system's really
Oh
cool
yeah, there's
because
somebody else
like
mining. There's somebody else
imagine
mining.
I have a wax sticker of myself. I'm on the wax blockchain. So I have a tokenized collectible sticker that there's a limited edition issue of. I could put a couple stickers on Vidyen and say I want you to, earn 420 points to cash in and pay for my sticker, and people would have to help me earn Monero in that
Yeah,
process.
you could do that. You can either do that or use one of the live system. I mean, it's probably easiest that way because you can basically make a virtual. You could just take a picture of it or make a little notepad or put in a text file and put it as a virtual item. I actually did that with Steam gift cards, where just I typed in the code and had like a $20 gift card. Lost money testing it, but I basically put like there's only one of those on the WooCommerce store. You download it, you get the text file, and then you um, do it out. But the other thing, if you do like a item that's not like a one time off, but it's not a monetary reward as well. Like let's say you know people like this with like premium images, music, stuff that you're gonna go to Patreon to pay for, but you don't have any money, and you don't want to send you want to send money to this one person because you don't have any. But they put so you can go to the website, either watch ads or mine cryptocurrency or watch their videos or stream, and you watch it for a day or something, and you get enough points, you can go to the store and like download their premium content, and you can do that many as times as as users. Where these crypto is nice, but then you're kind of limited to you're limited how much you can put out there. Does that make sense? That's just a
Yeah.
personal opinion, but yeah, you can definitely use it for crypto if
Well,
you get a large user base for it.
well, speaking of personal opinion, I wanted to know your perspective on, as this era moves forward, as we monetize attention and the attention economy flourishes. What are your thoughts on the ethics behind, letting people know that you are mining in the background or not? And is this something, that you have to do or should do, or is it worth mentioning? That could it scare people away from your website? Like where does the line come when mining in the background while people are visiting your website?
I don't like mining without. That's the thing that bothered me about. I'm like, I get angry when a website slows down my stuff. So I'm generally against it. So I actually switched from I have my older plugins use a consent post, but now you didn't see a consent because we just logged straight into it. But if you're like a guest user, there's like a little screen. Like I just logged into like a guest account, and this is simple. I probably could have made more information about that, but that the warning's customizable and it
Is
doesn't look.
there I was to say, is there a warning with the plugin for my own website so I don't
Yeah,
use vid?
this is the default warning. You can I had to actually allow the ability to change the language because I got a lot of Spanish speaking users, and their users can't read English. So this you can change this to anything you'd want to say, and you can change the word agree to like
Start
uh,
mining.
well, you do that or like whatever the word is consent. And I think it's like consento. I don't. I actually have it in my instructions. It's like how to type it in Spanish. So now that it loads, and every time I refresh now because it adds the cookie. Until you delete your cookies or switch computers, you've accepted. I guess if you decide to opt out, you just delete your cookies.
How would you register an account? Like, what's the process like? I see login, register. If people
Yeah.
wanted to
So
create a
basically,
Vidyen account,
well, yeah, Vidyen is just a demonstration site. You do need some somewhat KYC for this because it is a WordPress system to get rewards. So if you sign up, on my site, you
so
use
this is more of a proof of concept of the
yeah.
plugins that you've created.
Yeah, this is I decided I wanted to get out of the business of dealing with users directly. Like about a year ago, I was actually putting like gift cards and all sorts of stuff on here. And the issue is I just
got tired of dealing with, end users, and I wanted to deal with content creators and people who want to make their own website. So
I think with
most
Wax.io and content creators having, because I'm not the only one that has my stickers like that. I mean, there's a bunch of, YouTubers and content creators that have their collectible stickers on that blockchain, and we could put them on Vidyen for people to earn points to cash in for and monetize our websites with the plugin. Because is there a way to RTMP like capture like a stream key and a URL to like WordPress, so when I want to go live I could use like Restream or open broadcast software, something like that, to my WordPress website?
One second. I'm actually trying to get the link to the one of the websites that's not mine that uses it. One second. Don't ask why I was. This is like my little bookmark channel. Don't ask why I was looking at VPN. All right, one second. Sites that use tips. All right, this is one of my users. He's got, when I last looked, he had like 2,000 users. Let me show his site. Yeah, it's you can do it's like, I wanted to be the person that made the shovels and not be the person making the shovel, or or the mine. Does that make sense?
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, this guy he's in Spanish. He's the one that actually asked me. I'm giving him free advertising. He's the one that asked me, how can I do an automatic transfer so I don't have to pay them directly, because he has 2,000 users. If he had to like manually transfer or create 2,000 text files every time he wanted to sell crypto, it'd become tedious. So he's a good. I don't think he. All right. Well, actually, I don't remember my login to this. But yeah, this is pretty much, and you can actually, the neat thing about WordPress is that he combines different ones. So the faucet's not mine. This one's mine, this one, and I've started to add games.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's a crypto raffle. And he's a better, he's a better graphics designer than I am. So basically, he's installed my plug. Actually, hold on. Let me stop sharing for just a second. Is that okay?
Yep. Go ahead.
Is that going to kill anything?
Yeah. No. Well, there you go. Right. Perfect.
I have an idea what my login is, and I just don't want to like.
So basically, when you're on that website from the gate, though, you started mining Monero in the background for him.
No, there's a consent. I'll show you that in a second. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I think I know what my username is, but I could be wrong.
Now, why? I'm just curious, why Monero and not Bitcoin?
That's always a good question to ask. One second. I have to do this by virtual memory.
Oh, way to dance around the question. I'm just kidding.
I can't
just
type
kidding.
The password he gave me without doing it by hand memory. Okay, I got it. Because you can't actually mine until you log in. So that's almost consent in itself. Because the idea is that originally the idea was that if you want to get points, you got to log in, and because you can't track people very easily unless they have a wallet, and they do that, but it's generally. I didn't mention that he had an error. I don't know if he fixed it or not. He's got ads. I don't have ad blocker on. I see ads. Curse him. Curse him. He has ads, but no, he does what he wants. So here's like the miner. Yeah, he hasn't fixed the error. I told him about it, but he hasn't. He also modifies my code, so I can't like say this is my fault. So yeah, this is my old miner, and I probably shouldn't run two miners at the same time.
Yeah, so, you got the other tab open.
But yeah, but the thing is, this is actually the old miner, but it's just like a point system. I evolved this into the video miner because the one person asked me, well, I have users that don't log in. How can they still monetize me? But this is back to the old system where you're earning crypto. What was the original question again?
Why Monero and not Bitcoin?
All right. It's a good question. Because the Monero team has an anti-ASIC stance. And
what's that mean? That sounds like gibberish.
Yeah.
Did you just make it up right now? Like, that's really good. You should trademark it.
Something called anti-ASIC stance. Let me make sure I'm not closing. Oh, that's my guest window. All right. So Yeah, there is a consent system in the other phone, but yeah. All right. So Bitcoin kind of evolved without, a core team. So it just happened. So originally it started out with CPUs back in 2009, and then it moved. People figured out they could mine with a graphic card. Sometime around 2015, Bitmain and the ASICs came along and said, hey, we can just do these specialized chips, which are, because the hash. Now I'm losing my language skills. The hash algorithm, that's it, doesn't change that often, and that's a good thing for Bitcoin. You don't want like too many Bitcoin forks. I mean, really don't want any forks almost, because you get Bitcoin Cash. But they can just make chips at a factory that are programmed to. I need to investigate the NAN era, but I think that might be the API. But anyways, the idea is that you get chips pre-manufactured, and then the hash rate becomes obscenely large. So like this is 7, like what was I getting? Like 7 hash rate or something?
At the most, you had like 10, so now you're up to 8.
I refreshed it. Now, it automatically gives you points when you refresh the page so you don't lose them. So I redeemed 1 point. So let's start playing again. So I think like the Bitmain miners now are like mining like the one I have the one I have is like a USB stick, mines 20 gigahashes, and that's just kind of not if you have a CPU miner, you're not gonna want to mine. No one mines Bitcoin on a CPU anymore, and I don't think people mine it on GPUs anymore. So if you wanted to have like gamers like compete to mine Bitcoin for you, it's generally you're not going to compete with the Bitmain factories, and they all have gone bankrupt, a lot of them, but there's still there's no way to compete. But anyways, back to the Monero team and Fluffy Pony and everyone else's anti-ASIC stance. The factory-made chips is that they believe, and people do disagree with them. Some Bitcoin maximalists do disagree with them, but they believe, the Monero team believes that makes 51% attacks more probable if Bitmain owned all the hash power and everyone was mining Monero through them, because Monero is a privacy coin at the same time, and you don't want people to find out who you are, what your transactions are. If Bitmain had all the hash power, there would be a possibility they'd hack. They could, the Chinese government could come in and say, like, we need to know who these people are. So they just basically brute force their own coin. So the idea is that if the hash power gets too high, they're going to fork it, or they do a hard fork. They did one last year in the spring, last year was 2018. I'm losing the time now. 2018, I think in April they did a hard fork, April, May, and they did another one in October. I didn't actually get my server up until like August, so I had this was the first time I actually participated in hard fork. I was freaking out, but it wasn't that hard. So they went smoothly, and then the hash rate went down to 200, and then so you would actually earn more.
Well, it looks like you're not getting any progress, but it does say, like earlier, it takes 10,000 hash, right, to earn 1 point. What does that mean for like payout wise? Like what's that earn the
set? Let me go back, because I don't. Sometimes if I'm using Linux, and I normally test on Windows, so I'm not going to devalue anyone that's using Linux, but my test machine's on Windows, so sometimes Chrome acts wonky, especially since I use uBlock. But 1 second. Let me show you where that is. So that's actually an arbitrary number, and that's dependent on your reward. That's literally a setting by the admin.
Right. So when the admin looks at that hash, though, right, is there any way to see like how much Monero I'm earning? That hash equals X amount of Monero earned? That way, I have a way to establish some kind of value to that point.
Yeah.
You earned 100th of a Monero, it looks like, total paid.
Yeah, so this is basically in the past little bit. I also have my computer set on UTC London time, so it's paying me and it assumes that I'm in British pounds, I guess, or no, that's euros. But yeah, this is Yeah, the Monero Ocean is paying. You don't really need your users to look at Monero Ocean, unless you can up here, which says dashboard, you can paste your wallet and put a link on there. Actually, I think I did that. Like, if you really want your users to know um, that you can put the link on there. But generally, I guess if you're doing a donation system, that's kind of nice.
Right, right. Open source as much as you can when it comes to like donations and charity and things, especially with crowdfunding. I think it's actually really important that we're going to start seeing where the assets are spent after funds are raised.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry, they wanted. No problem. Sorry, somebody was asking something. Yeah, all right. Sorry, they wanted to put a share back in. But yeah, you can definitely put, like, if you want your users to know, definitely put a link on there of your wallet so they can look at it. I've got a system. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just my headset went silent. I have a system. I didn't really want to put like the usernames on here, but there's identifiers that can tell you basically these names here are actually just some servers that are running in the background. But these here, if I go back, let me page. You can actually set your site name to anything you'd want.
Okay, cool. So you can find it.
And then so you can find it. If you ran multiple sites, that's very useful. And it's pretty much these numbers are pretty much like users and transaction action. So you can probably, like, if I'm kind of reluctant to like put people's users name on there. I mean, we could, but it's generally you could find them if you ask the admin to look up who is user, who was user what, and then I think actually I'm using because I deleted all the accounts. I think this is user one.
Okay, no, but that's pretty cool. So, like, you can kind of, reward your most active contributors and things.
Yeah, you can kind of go back and
start a leaderboard, a lobby leaderboard of contributors.
If you have people doing points and they're logged in, the Vidian point system does have a leaderboard.
Oh, dude, dope.
Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm mobile mode. All right, Vidian. Unfortunately, like, I deleted all the accounts. That's just me. I think I'll have 1 point. But there's leaderboard support. And that's just the points.
So the amount that a person like I would make from one person watching my video, I had a comment from Josh Crypto. He was wondering, what are you going to earn? A penny an hour per viewer in Monero? Is that really worth it? And honestly, I saw DJ Me Popsicle and them start a conversation about how it actually, yes, it does compete with ad revenue in a sense.
Yeah, just to give a reference, because I do deal with AdSense, it's an ad company, so I know their numbers. They pay you a penny for every 3 ads watched. And yes, they can be from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. They actually threw a 30-minute one up the other day, and it still cost 1 penny. It's like, why didn't you put a 30-minute video on here? But it's an ad. But yeah, it is not as much as Monero. Or, I'm sorry, Monero is not as much as regular advertising. But if it's all you got, it's better than nothing. Does that make sense?
Right, and this is a good tool for those that are being disenfranchised. And again, that little bit of money actually adds up in third world economies where this is more necessary than not, right? Like, if you don't see a use for something like this, that's kind of like a first world problem. You're being blinded to the utility of something because you don't have the use for it.
Like, if you're PewDiePie, there's no need to do this. Literally, there's no. If you're getting paid like a
No, there's really no need, but it wouldn't hurt for him to set up his own website, do this, and maybe even donate those mining rewards to a charity.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. If you are a crypto person, you would be awesome to do. It's just generally I don't. If you already make lots of money and you don't do controversial stuff. Or it's on the content creator and it's on the site owner.
Right.
So it's contextual. Yes, it's a lot less money than advertising, but the issue is the advertising often comes with KYC, content checks. Like even AdSend, the reward sites that I do.
Yeah, you may not even be allowed to earn money through those avenues, so you have no option.
Mm-hmm.
And
so, yeah,
well, you're
generally,
also, well, not to cut you off, but I mean, you're also earning a volatile cryptocurrency.
Well, that is true. I mean, if Monero moons, then your penny becomes 10 cents. So well, if it goes back up to 300, then yeah, but we'll
see,
knock on wood. But we'll see. That is also another thing. If you become a hodler, that's you can consider it as an investment. But yeah, it's generally, I guess it's context to your situation. It's not for everyone, but at the same time, even if you don't, even if you have content that's not, you still get ad money, but here's something I would say also. I think people installing Brave is becoming higher and higher.
yes.
And so I think that is becoming an issue.
So if you're watching my YouTube video on Brave browser, Brave blocks the ads by default, which actually third party demonetizes me from any AdSense revenue that YouTube would even give me from the beginning anyway. And that's where basic attention token and things like that come into play. But again, that's not the same as charitable mining. You know, basic attention requires a lot of moving parts and opt-in charity by faucet donations.
Yeah. Looks like somebody else. Well, yeah, it's still mining. But here's the other thing. I call it like the issue back to the original gamer concept. A lot of crypto, the way that some people see it, like, well, how do you get paid? Well, you got to buy a token, you got to pay real money, and I say that's a great idea for people who already have money, but there's a lot of users, and this happens in the video game community, especially the games that you ever heard the term pay to win?
Yes. The more you pay, the better in-game content you have. That just makes you the best in the game.
It makes a lot of the people who don't have money kind of resentful. And with like a Patreon system, it's not that bad because generally, you want them to succeed, but you could open up with people who are money poor, but time and resource or, computer rich, I guess resources as far as their gaming rig, they can still help out and they can compete on the board. So maybe you could even do like, here's how much I got donations in fiat, here's how much people mine for me, and here's how many people just straight up just donated BAT or whatever crypto they wanted to send me. So you could combine these, and the people who don't have money or don't have crypto, they could, they really like you, or for whatever reason, they could donate some of your CPU time.
Or you can go to a public library and go on my website on all the computers and just walk away and just let me rake in the money.
There's actually a kid who did that in Japan and got arrested. He did that with CoinHive, though.
I had a guest on the show the other day that did that.
The story goes he got arrested and he only earned like $2. So,
yeah, I heard.
This is like really high.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's the ethical point, right? Like, when I go to Facebook or Google.com, they're not telling me they're data mining me and stealing that search that I like. Why aren't they as liable for their actions as that kid was liable for his? It's much worse what they're doing on their scale.
I mean, kind of like people say we're stealing CPU cycles. I mean, I say, well, ads don't ask me for consent either. So just like the only way you get to consent to an ad is basically turn your Brave shields off or uBlock off. That's the only way you're technically consenting is that you turn it off. Otherwise, you're watching the ad whether you like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. And this is really cool for like small businesses too, that may not be able to, earn with ads or be able to be like, there's no option for them to get ads on their websites. I was just wondering, like, kind of what's your end user for VidYen plugins, right? Like, when you're thinking of somebody that's utilizing this plugin, who's like your end user demographic that could actually benefit from utilizing the plugin on WordPress?
All right. So originally, I thought this would be directed at U.S. gamers, and unfortunately, I don't know. I haven't gotten to the business of tracking users because that would be kind of, hypocritical. But I do get a lot of people reaching out to me, and I've only got like a few people from the States who are interested, but majority are from people overseas. Like, I guess my most recent shout out to the guys in France. They want to do like a retro new wave thing, and they kind of even talked to me about maybe having me do some games. I'll mention that a little bit. That remind me to talk about games involving this. But mostly it's been Spanish-speaking countries like Spain. I don't know. Some of them, it's hard to talk with them because I don't know Spanish, but they're mostly not in the United States, and this is usually for people who want, I guess, especially like Spain. I know has high unemployment, so
they have a good attention economy sitting on the couch.
Yeah, actually, I did talk to a guy from Portugal, but I kind of stopped talking to him because he wanted to do pirated movies it's basically Portuguese Disney movies, and it's like, I want to sell these movies. I'm like, he basically is selling the links to the torrents. It's like, you can install the plugins. I can't help you though. So, but yeah, it's basically all sorts. It's generally like a Minecraft thing. I want to just make a toolkit. I have a certain idea of what I want to do, but I've just been kind of surprised. It's mostly people overseas. I mean, I had one guy in Russia, but he had a problem he could not get any of the ad. He applied to AdSense, he got denied. He did get approved for one ads, but the ads actually blocked his users by IP. If he could get English-speaking users, they got the ads. I think AdGate actually let him in, but I haven't heard back from him. So that's the thing, is that if you maybe live in a country where they don't think sending you ads is important, that also works, because hashes don't care about your nationality or language. That's the other thing. Like, advertising, like, well, we can't make English ads to people in, Russia, but it doesn't care if your users are Russian or British or, Portuguese or Brazilian or Venezuelan, or, it just cares the hashes are processed correctly. Does that
Absolutely.
So, I mean, basically, if you've got a computer and a device, it could be, and your users do, and you've got something to show them or something to reward them with, then I guess it can work for anyone.
So how far do you think we are from companies doing this maliciously in the background without our permission, right? Like, we've had, I believe you mentioned even earlier, what was it, Pirate Bay was mining in the background, right? With, what was it, CoinHive, correct?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts where we have now BitTorrent, right? Where they have their own token, the BTT. I see that it may be something that we should keep an eye on for the ability for them to mine their own token in the background of the end users, basically pumping their own bags.
Can well, there's, I'm always against the use of unethical stuff, but I mean, to be fair, I think the space protocol. If I can get this room to, hopefully, I'm gonna not renew this because I think I spent all my credits for the month.
Sorry, guys.
But yeah, no problem. I don't think anyone wants this room. If I'll just say, oh, I'm sorry, I'll just hang out. But I think I got another 30 minutes, but it's fine. But yeah, as far as that goes, I'm against it to like doing without permission, because I don't like doing anything I don't like. And I remember I lived through the 2008 malware wars, where back then crypto didn't exist. So what malware would do is install, like, pop-up ads. You vaguely remember that? I don't know if I used to work before I went back to school for finance.
My favorite malware pop-up was the one that was bubble wrap. It just more pop-ups just kept popping up, and you had to do Control Delete Task Manager.
I used to work tech support for actually a pretty big company, and it was every machine was in. That's when I learned. We basically were installing malware bytes without the corporate version, because it was like, what do we do? It's like nothing. None of the Norton doesn't work. None of the other stuff works. So it's like, we'll just install Malwarebytes. So we were doing that 24/7, and like people were like, there's porno pop-ups and like screaming people on my screen. I'm not looking at porn. I swear they're like crying on the phone, and it's pretty much back then. It was because Microsoft had ActiveX. Probably too much knowledge. Basically, the browsers. This is the reason Firefox came into being, because Microsoft, like, Netscape lost, and then Microsoft was like, we'll just add ActiveX and everything else into the browser, and then the turns out it's a bad idea to let the website install stuff on your hard drive. So yeah, that's how the malware was installed. Now these days, it's harder to do that, except if you have Oracle Java installed, don't do that, or Flash, don't do that either. But I think Adobe's actually going to kill Flash next year. Actually, they said that they were going to. But anyways, that installs miners, and it's not as noticeable because there's no need to show you an ad and get the ad impression. So it's just installing the background. Browser mining kind of can do that. Like I know a guy's website right now. I just go to it and it'll start mining right away. But it's not as harmful because you can just close the tab and
now, do you think we're not
fun.
too far from, like, ad blocker 2.0, since this internet of 2.0 is a thing where we would be able to build in an extension for Brave browser, right, where we have a plugin that prevents
actually,
you from mining, right, with my
no.
background.
I actually had a talk with Brave, and it's easier to show on my PC because I can do all the stuff at once. Brave actually has a built-in anti-mining feature, and I was talking to them because I noticed it wasn't working on mine, and I talked to them and said, oh, we already had this conversation with Salon. Salon's the only other company that I know of officially using CoinHive for legitimate uses. I think there's some other ones, but I think they're like donations and charity. But Salon, if you're using ad blocker, can tell and says, can you turn it off and use CoinHive? So what happens is that on Brave, I would demonstrate it, but my Brave isn't working on Linux, and the activity thing isn't as expected. It actually doesn't show Brave as an executable; it runs it as something else. But anyways, basically, if you have mining in a tab and you switch tabs, it stops mining. Basically, the WASM or WASM is the engine that it runs on JavaScript. And it also works for ads and other things as well. So if you have like somebody playing audio in the background on a tab that's not active, you can switch tabs, or it'll stop that from running. I mean, it's not like a complete solution. And even though it makes my developing annoying, because sometimes I like to just leave the tab in the background and I forget about it and it stops mining, you can just hit Alt-N and open it if you put it in an active tab in a new window, it doesn't care. So even though Brave is not anti-browser mining, they don't want you to like have it running in multiple tabs. Or the idea was not to have like videos playing in tabs automatically. Like you go to a website, you switch tabs, and all of a sudden it's like starts shouting an advertisement at you. Well, you didn't realize it. So that was their intention. So there is some technology in there, but as far as totally shutting it off, the core engine, it uses the features that are required to do a lot of stuff that you do today in all websites. Like this stuff, like all these I think this updating stuff, it all uses that kind of similar technology. They'd have to rewrite their browsers from scratch, and I don't know if they would do that. If they were to do that, I just recommend just get rid of the ability to do advertisement altogether.
Well, then but then I would worry about, even again, censorship, right? Like the ability to censor from the on ramp, where we have this decentralized, immutable technology, but the third parties that we rely on, the means of communications like the internet browsers, could censor it.
Let's put it this way: if it depends on the audience, and it's hopefully gets more acceptable before somebody goes off the rails and decides. I mean, luckily Brave doesn't frown on it totally. Like I said, we're just disabling this part of the engine because, most people use like Safari. Like I remember that Twitter post I was like showing everyone that uses like 50% of people that hit my site use Safari, and I have no idea why. I guess they're iPhone users. Yeah, but yeah. So if Apple or Google decide to do it, then that would suck. But as long as we're allowed to install our own software on our own computers, I know the Apple Store is kind of hard to deal with, and sometimes Google Play as well. If you still have the option of installing a browser that supports it, and if it is a legitimate browser, I'd feel more comfortable at telling my user base, if I was a streamer, to tell them to install Brave than install some like weird random executable file off of weird GitHub. So does that make sense? I think as long as Brave and a legitimate company support the technology, you always have the alternative to install that software
Gotcha.
and run the web pages through that.
So you told me to bring up and segue back to the gaming aspect, and I wanted
Oh
to
yeah,
know how that kind of ties into being able to monetize background, computing power, and where video games tie in.
yeah. Two things. There's the actual video games themselves, but there's actually in my meager programming. Let me give this account some points really quick. User, because I don't think I have any points on them. Basically, you can, when your users are doing this, especially because they're only mining like a penny of Monero every so often. It's not much, and you're obviously not going to be able to give like you can't mail them a T-shirt without incurring a loss. This is also a little bit fiat-ish because you can actually, with this system, if there's a mistake, you can always add or deduct points, more like a video game. Let's see, what was it? Coin. Nope, no, no. Sorry, I'm looking for this regular video. I'm just going to add myself a gazillion points, so I don't run out. So basically, the idea is that, and unfortunately, if you're giving out like crypto, this would probably break the RNG rule. Well, I've got a raffle, it's a multiplayer raffle, and I don't think I can play against myself. I can. Actually, who played on here?
I think DJ Me Popsicles logged in on. He has 5 rewards earned.
Okay. Well, basically, you can have like raffles and stuff. So basically, you can pretty much have users like not one user can earn that T-shirt, but if you got like 1,000 users all like doing raffles, you could do that. It's very simple. I just kind of did like a basic 10 number, and these numbers are arbitrary. The admin, it's just moving decimal points, and you just like whatever values you want to set. Actually, I think if I buy 2 more, it'll let me win. And so that's the basic way. And unfortunately, legally, or I'm probably, if I were to say, if you're giving monetary rewards or rewards that.
So if you were going to be doing private key giveaways,
this might break some gambling laws. I don't know. I know that's the issue.
And I could use VidYen plugin on WordPress to do my own version of this on my own website.
Yes, all these features are in the plugins.
So I could have Ken Bozak points.
Yeah, points. Yeah, Ken Bozak points for how the loyalty point. You can call them loyalty. Basically, call them make them as non-monetary as possible. Say these are loyalty points and not actual thing. So that I don't even know who handles gambling laws. It's probably like the state that you're in. But generally, that's the issue. If you let people, if they believe that well, that's the thing. Is like, is watching ads or mining crypto. If you pay somebody that to earn points, and then you gamble with that points and get paid out in something monetary, is that the same thing as giving you crypto directly or fiat directly? And unfortunately, I'm not a lawyer. If I had a lawyer, I'd love to pick their brain on this, but I don't know the distinction if like watching ads is the same as paying a site money. Does that make sense? Like,
no, it definitely makes sense. I would see this more as maybe even possible to very limit doing gift card giveaways or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing in the States, I mean, just don't be careful with that. Like I said, I have users overseas who do it, and I don't, I can't like speak on their local government's behalf. But I know cool. People that do that. One guy I think I had earlier, he does do the raffles. Let's see. Well, I did make a single player game too, and this is finally learning. I was learning Ajax, and let's see. Hopefully, I'll break on. Yeah, it's basically like a really cheap slots game. It's not fancy looking. This
You need a graphics designer.
Yeah, I'm just a back end. So I'm basically betting, and it's done through Ajax, so it's server. So you can't cheat, you can't modify your JavaScript. So it's basically the PHP. My luck has not been, but I've oh yeah. So basically, probably doesn't, you can't tell because I already have like 99
Yeah, it's
trillion
really, I'm
points.
not, that's why I like squinted. I was like, I'm trying to see. You
Yeah.
lost there. Okay.
So basically, I'm trying to get four of a kind. Is this basically a demo site? And the guy in France actually wants me to make a Wheel of Fortune, and I think I can do that. But yeah, the other thing, but yeah, this, you can definitely add RNG games to this. So the idea is that if you have like 1,000 users and only like mining like 10 points a day, you could have like little RNG games that they could gamble away their money. As long as it there's if
Well, it's
you
not
can edit
money,
the
it's
odds.
points.
Well, yeah, points. I'm sorry, points. You're right. Don't get me. Yeah, don't get the New Jersey Gaming Commission on me. Actually, Pennsylvania has one now. Um,
So quads is basically you need four of the same number in a row to win.
yeah, it's or you can get a two of a kind or three of a kind, or actually two doubles count as well.
Oh man.
Nope.
Oh, oh,
Well,
there
that's
you go. That
dubs.
was
Two
two
of them.
dubs.
Yeah, and there's no timer, so you just mash away and
I see, and it says point balance. You can see the dollar amount and stuff like that.
yeah,
How's
that's
that
actually the
work?
WooCommerce. That's actually the WooCommerce plugin. That actually that's the money you can get from your store purchases, because the WordPress, when they came up, well, they didn't come up with WooCommerce, but the people who did never intended for non-fiat to be used. So there's got to be little what they call gateways, and a lot of people have made crypto gateways, and basically I can do that right now. Hold on one second. I got a little point exchange. So the other thing is that if you're using, we're probably like we're getting to like free advertisement now, but there's a point. I made like a mini point exchange. You can do point to point, um, or you can do like point to like, and these are all arbitrary numbers. It's up to the admin to decide. Do you want a lot of zeros or not many zeros? Try to avoid decimals because it turns out users hate decimals. So yeah, I converted those points into dollar. You can do like a 10 cent.
And now that comes from the person hosting that point system, right? Like me, I would have
Yeah.
a pool of fiat willing to pay for those tokens. Basically
E-
doing a buyback.
well, yeah, you could do that. But I mean, basically anything. Let me actually show you WooCommerce really quick.
Oh yeah, I was just curious who's buying those points. Where does the fiat come from?
Well, yeah, it's basically it's called WooCommerce Wallet. It's like a credit system. This is also a free plugin you can get. Um, you just go on their WordPress website and download it. It's basically, it was designed to give people credit for like returned items, but because it's like a virtual non-existent, it's not dealing with a money lender, no, money lender. You know what I mean, like a bank or PayPal. It's basically you just give them credit for whatever they return, so you don't actually have to get like a chargeback. But it turns out you can tie into it and basically give free money for the store. Does that make sense?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So basically, my
Hey,
plugin
there's
just
DJ Me Popsicle. I see him.
oh crap. Can we delete this out? Because it turned out oh, I'm sorry. Um, we just oh crap. We just geez. I didn't realize they signed up for us. Well, can you edit that out? They got some user emails there. Um, I just violated
We're live.
some
I will try to put a pop
a
up
blank
over
over
there.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can. These emails are fine. Everyone knows that it's a webmaster at Vidyan, but the other one. But anyways, sorry for doxing everyone. I didn't expect anyone to like sign up for the account while we're live. But yeah, yeah, change that email. But yeah, one second. What am I? Oh, I'm trying to get to the store without. Hold on. Let me just change to a different page so I can scroll back
There
up.
you go.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna go to my. This is like my instruction. All right. So we're gonna products. So basically, the WooCommerce comes up with store. Uh, um, And I have different products on here. For these are like my software add-ins, like you can get post-back plugins, which is like a technical term for automation.
All right, I
And the
see what
pro
you're
is,
doing here. So
yeah,
basically, you say how much your points are worth in dollars
yeah,
towards these here on your marketplace through WooCommerce.
yeah. And that, let me show, this is like one of my products. So I can give it a name, like a little story interface, and like a, here's the preview. It's basically, I'm selling the VidYen font for like 10 cents. You can do whatever you want to. And it is like a zip file you download. And you could probably actually use the URL to get directly to that and steal it, but if you're watching and screenshotting, but you can steal the font, that's fine. And you can set a price, and it's virtual downloadable. If you wanted, because it's like a virtual item, um, two types of virtual items. If you had like that private key system you were talking about, you probably want to limit the stock quantity, obviously, because you don't want people sharing the same
One,
private,
right.
one. Otherwise, if it's like a image or MP3 or music file, video, you can have them downloaded all day and it doesn't matter. Or a thank you card, a digital thank you card.
Dude, this is
Um,
cool.
so, but yeah, this is all been pre-made. That's the nice thing about WordPress is because it's had like 10 years of development. There's like 60,000 different plugins, and because their codex has a rules and system of how you call each other, my plugin can work with their plugin can work with some other plugins. So you're basically just like having modules. It's kind of like a Minecraft server. We're just like installing plugin after plugin and doing like whatever you can dream of. Because there's also some auction plugins. I don't have it on here, but you can literally create an auction site where you can like sell items with an auction system. But that's you'd have to watch YouTube on how to do that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this is pretty badass stuff, man. I mean, I know a bunch of people that have their own websites and they use WordPress to build them. A lot of them are in like the cell phone repair industry and stuff like that. And there's a few content creators, even Crypto Wendio and Shill9. Everybody has their own websites. Bitninja.com, Bitninja Supply, they have their own website. They're all crypto people. I could see them using this plugin, you know what I mean, in order
Yeah, I
to
mean,
monetize.
yeah. The main thing is it's WordPress.org. I went with them over Wix because WordPress was more accessible as far as their programming API goes. And I mean, I've been asked to use Wix a bunch. I'm like, I don't want to support two platforms. I'm sorry. It's open. There's a GitHub. Just search for Vidya, and like pretty much everything you see here is open source and on the GitHub. Be careful because I tend to update it without thinking anyone else is going to download it, and it may be a bug in it. So anything on the WordPress repository has been tested, at least as far as my ability goes. But if you want to like fork it and download it, definitely just go search Vidyen on GitHub, and I got like 10 repositories of some failed experiments and some the live stuff. So, but yeah, if you have WordPress, you can install this plugins, Dash Slugs plugin, and pretty much everything else. There are some other Monero miners. Actually, let me plugin. Let's actually take a look at some of the competitors and just kind of mention this.
It's always good to mention the competition because, you know,
Yeah.
people need choices.
Yeah, there is plenty of Monero miners on there. I have to add first. And to my surprise, the people that approve my code are kind of knowledgeable of it. Because actually, one day when I was submitting, I think it was the vidhash, because I was lazy, I kind of put a default wallet in because I kind of was tired of typing it each time I wiped the site. And they actually said, "Hey, you got a default wallet. It's going to mine if they don't put one into your wallet. We don't want you to do that." Like, oh yeah. So they actually noticed that. It's like, all right, so. Let's see what we got. I'm kind of top on the list. Some of these donation. There's a lot of crypto stuff for WordPress as well. Actually, I think I need to type in miner. There's a lot of stuff is not specifically. I've seen spare change. These guys have more active installations. I need to be better at advertising. That's
You got to advertise on Steam it, steam.com, and you could do a promoted post, and all those crypto enthusiasts will be able to see it because, like, then you'll be speaking right to your demographic.
The main thing is, I think, oh, my laptop is so slow. Am I still mining in the background? This is not. Actually, let me just go to WordPress.org because the interface on this laptop is. All right, one one second. I could reboot in Windows, then have to set up everything up again, right? So let's go to plugins. And I generally just minor. Of course you didn't find it.
Mine.
Right. Minor. Maybe that could be new spelling error. So like this guy, it might have been an error, but I think the complaint that people get is that the AV acts up. Because I think he's using CoinHive. What do people complain about? Virus detected. Well, the issue is that it's blocked by Avast because it's using third-party servers. I mean, there's other Monero plugins you can install with that will mine, but because they're using CoinHive, I think Simple Miner has also been blocked. That if you have an antivirus installed, it'll give you a big red screen. What I've tried to avoid is actually having the JS files on a third-party server. It'll be hosted on your local server. Now, the main problem with that is when it forks, and this happened back in October, I had to let everyone know, hey, they're forking. You need to update my plugin so that you have the latest JS files. Also, you have to tell your users to delete your cache because unfortunately JS files tend to be cached if you're using the old algorithms.
That could be a big problem, man, because not a lot of people are savvy enough to even understand how to do that, let alone you could scare people from going to your site because, oh, that sucks.
Well, the main issue is that if your users are consenting, they should know that. You could put a little notice, like you redo the consent message, it's like, hey, you need to delete your cookies.
Is there a way in WordPress or any kind of way for a website to, you know, have a pop-up that says, you know, please click here, and you can just do that right from a one-stop, you know, plug-and-play type of a click solution?
Yeah, I need to look into that. And like, fortunately, it only happens every 6 months with a fork. But the main thing is that I'm more concerned about people not freaking out and thinking it was a virus.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like if you went to your website and said Ken Bozak has a virus, you'd kind of feel bad about that, wouldn't you? It's like, oh no, we don't have a virus. But then you have to sit there and explain to them. That was the problem when I was using CoinHive. Is like I had a friend like went on there, is like, you got a virus on your website, and they really freaked out. And like, I don't. It's literally just they've called CoinHive a virus because you can go to a website that doesn't give you consent. So unfortunately, the Malwarebytes and Avast, they can't really tell if you have a consent button. They just see that you have a miner running remotely in the
Oh, so even if you have a consent button, you run the risk of coming up flagged for a virus.
Yeah. So the main thing is that if you run the files locally, it's not considered like you're not talking to like a blacklisted third-party server.
So they're kind of demonizing this before they even attacked it, you know, directly.
Yeah, it's pretty much. But I think the best way to handle it is this, you know, it's probably easier to console your users by telling them to delete their cookies than it is to like tell them they don't have a virus. That's my opinion. So, and also I do some things that CoinHive and them don't do in the back end that aren't as virusy. Apparently, like if in Brave browser, if you have a folder named Miner, it actually blocks it by default. It also blocks a folder named Banner. So,
okay.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like not even remotely. It's like it sees the folder named Banner or an image JPEG named Banner, just like whoop, blocked. But I think it's because that's pulled. It's like a behavior from uBlock. But generally, I think we have to kind of focus on making sure people feel safe with it and that it's not going to blow them up. That's the other reason I kind of leave it at 6. Yes, if you really wanted to open like 5 new browsers with different profiles, that it's will lock your computer up, I guess.
Right.
But you kind of have to purposely like, you know, open 20 browsers. Keep in mind, if you open another page, people complain that it doesn't work because they want to mine in multiple tabs. And like, look, you can forget that you have a miner in a tab if you do that. So,
yeah, no, and that would, yeah, exactly. It's not for the benefit of everybody. You don't want to have a bad user experience because then you would blame the whole, the thing that you're experiencing, right? Because it's your own fault. But that's a lot why Apple kind of limits what you can do with their phones, because they don't want you to do anything that would give you a bad experience with their devices. I wanted to touch, before I let you go, I hope I'm not taking too much of your time, but I love talking to you, dude.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad we got to finally do this.
But I was wondering what your like thoughts are. We talked about, you know, retail and the little guys, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are on mainstream adoption of this kind of technology of, you know,
Mm.
mining in the background using SS process power and kind of stage that talk. My thought would be more like something like Fortnite, where they have
Yeah.
100 people in every lobby playing a game, and the winner gets, you know, he just gets a winner victory. Yay, nothing. But if all of those 99 people are mining with their excess game, you know, power in the background,
Yeah.
and Fortnite were to keep, say, 30%, like Uber and Lyft and everybody keeps their, in Google AdSense, 30% seems to be about the going rate for any pimp. They take 30%, and then 70% can go to the winner who wins each Fortnite battle. So now there's a lot of incentive to actually start playing the game, and you can monetize the time spent playing the game, and they could accept that currency or give a point system, right? Like, even if you
Yeah.
lose, the losers that played the game a lot still earn points based off the hash. So now I could get skins with my Fortnite points.
Yeah, I think the main thing, well, Fortnite would be better proposed for it, because they have access. You know, they have a program that can access the CPU directly, and you're downloading it anyway. Whereas Browser Miner, probably didn't mention this earlier. JavaScript can only touch the CPU. There's been attempts to tie JavaScript into the GPU, but it requires you modifying your OS, and that has not been done yet. And I don't know if Microsoft, or like, you can do it on Linux, but you have to like totally rewire your kernel. And
There's
your
a lot of
GPU. But
manual stuff there.
yeah, manual stuff. But if you have the, let's say, Epic, is it Epic? I think
Yeah, it's
should know
Epic.
this.
Epic Games.
Yeah, it's they have the access to download like a module. Like, it'd be totally opt-in. If they're gonna do this, they have to kind of ease everyone into it. They'd have like, download module that downloads, and you opt in past the firewall, whatever, and then it has access to your GPU, which is, you've got users with SLE and all that, and also powerful CPU. So you can probably not as, in my testing at least, if you have a GPU that's running in the background, 100%, you're going to less likely to notice it unless you're actually playing a game. Whereas CPUs at 100%, everything slows down. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you could just, they have access to the CPUs and they can just do other things. Your fans will spin up and make a lot of noise, but yeah, generally, I could see that happening. It's just that there's probably one dude somewhere at a major gaming company, hopefully not EA. He's probably looking for another job right now. But that has this idea, and it's probably going to be hard to do in the bear market. That's the other thing. It's like most of these companies aren't used to that model yet.
Well, even battle royale games is a brand new model for gaming as its
Yeah,
own. I mean, Fortnite and PUBG and a couple games. So what is that? Counter Strike Go or something like. A lot of these
yeah,
games
kind of,
just
yeah.
they just started doing a lot of this battle royale, and even Call of Duty even jumped into it, which is the first, like, you know, I'd say Epic is pretty major league, but these Call of Duty like Treyarch and all these, they're major league games that just now for the first year made their first battle royale game. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's a perfect timing scenario for being able to monetize background computing power and the fact that everybody has an amazing gaming machine now, and these battle royale games with tournament style feels.
Yeah, I feel like if for some reason they'd invited me to like talk to like a conference of these people at like Epic or like Valve, I would, I try to pitch this to them like, hey, you have the perfect platform. You don't have to like do the limitations of a browser. You can put it directly on the GPU. But these yes, a lot of game developers are pro crypto. It's not been a big deal. I still run into I chat with like some independent ones, and they don't even know what Bitcoin is. So it's a matter of kind of like adoption and convincing them. And again, it's it's going to be hard. And you're going to have to find a champion somewhere. Like, somebody's going to have to get hired at Epic to like stand up in a meeting and say, hey, let's do this. Otherwise, it's just going to be like these reward sites. I did have somebody talk to me, and I don't think they carried through with it. They wanted to do a Fortnite site. I don't know what you can sell with Fortnite. I don't think there's anything, but basically he was doing gift cards with a Fortnite Steam site. Because fortunately, I installed Fortnite, but I never got around to playing it. Um, So his idea was he's going to sell like virtual items. So it may come from a gray market where somebody's selling items related. Like it's easy with Steam because they got Steam gift cards, the skins, and the trading cards. But I don't know much about Fortnite, so I'm thinking these things are they're coming from the ground roots. Eventually, one of these players that was used to like a reward site, whether it be like watching ads or mining crypto, or maybe just was a crypto fan from the beginning, eventually gets a job and has a say. Um, that's when we'll see change.
Right. I mean, Fortnite has this kind of mini concept already incorporated in the game. When if you do decide to play, if you go into settings in the bottom right corner, you can actually adopt a streamer, and basically you put in like Ken Bozak, and every time you go to the store and buy something, a percentage of that is contributed to me as you know, a kickback because you know.
Yeah.
You're following me or whatever the case may be, which is really cool. So I see them being open-minded to the concept. Maybe not so much as tokenizing their in-game content like the skins on Wax,
Yeah.
but I do see a reason for them to try pool mining these, you know, these
Yeah.
tournaments, because you know these kids are spending a lot of their time and a lot of their attention on this platform, and it's making them a monopoly, and these kids are not getting any benefit of it. So this
Yeah.
is just one way for them to give back.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had the resources to develop a game like that. But I think I'm almost wanting to find a game that's so open source that we can, like a mine. Actually, I tell you that there is oh, what was it? I actually had a conversation with I think it's
Is there a battle royale Minecraft game where you can kind of plug in and play and do something like this with?
I, I don't haven't unfortunately I had a conversation a few months ago to a bunch of like I found a bunch of like admins that do yeah, it's Woo Minecraft. Basically, you can buy virtual items on your Minecraft server. They might have a battle royale, but from what I've heard, the game's been kind of dying lately. It's like 10 years old, and apparently Microsoft hasn't been kind to the EULA, so people are moving on. But yeah, this is already exists. So in theory, if you ran a Minecraft server, you could use mining to like have users buy items. Um, I don't think they've updated in a
That would
while.
be a
Yeah, it
whole
hasn't been
new
updated.
concept if Minecraft started mining with people's computers, because you'd be mining resources in
For,
Minecraft while actually digitally mining resources, digital currencies, cryptocurrencies. That's really cool.
yeah, I mean, if you have any viewers out there that are kind of like do mods for any type of game, that you running a community like Minecraft is cool or was cool. I guess it still is to me in my heart, but but the cool thing was everybody ran their own servers. The company didn't run the servers, and you could basically the community would pull together donations and they would install their mods, and you kind of get to know a community of like 100 to 200 people.
Yeah, I did that
And
with
I used
Quake
to
way back in the day.
yeah. So it would be good for that because you're not going through like a centralized server. But if it, like I said, if anyone's out there involved, like I haven't paid as to gaming as much as I should these days because I've been busy with this. If there's a game out there that's kind of like that's getting popular that has APIs that you can tie into like WordPress, then that would be great to kind of use this. Like, say you have like a server you can pay the bills for, but your all your users are like high to its jobs. You can just like cryptocurrency to hopefully do something is better than nothing.
I
Would be
wonder if we can
my
get Steam Monsters to do this. Have you talked to Matt about potentially doing this
I
with Steam
yeah, I
Monsters?
talked to I did talk to Matt, but he's I don't so that it's not going to be like he's like the option is for that to actually transfer if he ever considered Steam support because he does have an account on Steam. He said not at this time because unfortunately supporting 10 coins is so much of a hassle to begin with. He's
Right.
not going to support another one. So, I mean, in theory, if somebody were to make a Steam adapter for WooCommerce that goes both ways, or no, I'm sorry, a Steam, not a for WooCommerce, but a Steam user to user transfer plugin. If somebody could just make this is free advertising for free work. If somebody could make a plugin for WordPress that you could just basically transfer points from the admin to the user, and have an API that can be called by other programs, then this could be easily done. And you could like transfer I did talk to Matt the logistics. It's like 10 cents of Steam. I think like the cheapest monster I think is like 8 cents or 6 cents.
Something like
So
that.
if you could have something like that. So you earn 6 cents of Steam because it doesn't have the transfer fees. You could do it that way. I mean, in theory, you could just get paid in any crypto. It's just the transfer fees that kill you.
That's really cool though. It's all possible, man. Like
it's
it's all. I mean, we could even put a Steam bounty on this with Philip, right?
Yeah.
We could get Philip to put a bounty out on it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, that'd be cool to begin with if somebody made like a Steemit, a WordPress plugin for people to do like little exchanges. I guess like have their own I don't know, like a Steam API plugin. But
that
again,
would be
unfortunately,
amazing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I actually looked at the code and started dabbling in it. Like, look, I already have users that they have expressed no interest, and because they're not like I'm probably the only person like my users don't know about Steemit. So or not that they've let on. Even Dash Slug he's on Steemit, but he expressed no interest in developing for it. Because I'm also so busy. But I really, if somebody put it out there, I would totally use it and totally shout out every time I got a chance.
Well, for sure. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to sell some Steam monsters right from my own website, kenbozak.com. I could use like WooCommerce Cart or whatever to do all that. We're wrapping up here on 2 hours, man. I didn't realize it was.
That's fine.
That's a long podcast.
Yeah, I'm overdue, but they haven't kicked me out yet. I don't care.
So, why don't you go ahead and shill vidyen.com. Let everybody know about Vidyen, what the plugins can do. You can use your screen share to kind of go through each plugin real quick if you wanted to, and maybe show them the concept of, again, real quick, how it works on vidyen.com.
So, if you're at vidyen.com, let me actually do this in a Brave so I don't show the admin account. Vidyen.com has all the videos and it's kind of like tutorials and stuff. Oh, come on, sorry, 1 second. Oh, no copyrighted music. So if you go to vidyen.com, I just basically kind of give a rundown. Come on, there we go. So I give a rundown. There's links to like the Discord if you want to talk. You can get my LinkedIn, Twitter account where I'm ranting about stuff. So it's basically like the instructional, and then there's the previews. And here's the plugin. So this VIPS is the Vidyen point system, which is the it's the system that handles the points. It doesn't do any of the streaming or anything else. It just mines or watch videos. But if you want to have you can do Twitch streaming, you can do YouTube. These are sub plugins, and these actually don't require the Vidyen point system. But if you want to have a leaderboard or sell stuff, you got to have the first one. And then there's this experimental Monero share, which I don't even want to get into now. Basically, it's just you put it on your website and people mine to their own wallets, and you get 60 seconds out of every time. It was just like a concept. I don't know, moneroshare.io. I need to update that code. It's like I said, it's you start working on so much stuff, you'd run out of time. If you want to, if you do have a WordPress site, you can just go to WordPress.org. Keep in mind it's .org, not .com. .com is not a scam, except it's just like a paid. It's like a corporation that you can pay to have your web hosting, and they're kind of expensive. So let's just type in Vidyen, and they're all listed here. They're free to download. And also, but if you don't want to use WordPress directly or you want to fork it, you can just use the github.com. And I'm suspecting a lot of people are doing more on GitHub than.
We got a decentralized GitHub.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Just get. I don't want to sign up. Let me do it. Yeah, there's the Vidyen repository. It's all here. I originally used GPL2 if anyone cares, but I think I'm gonna switch to GPL3 just because WordPress was nagging me about the Monero logo. It's like you have to have GPL3 to use that. So because it's Creative Commons.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's not a big deal. Because I already talked to Fluffy, but I asked him on Twitter, can I use your logo? Because I was because WordPress says you can't use the Monero logo. It's like
I got his permission to use it on my Flesh. I actually had him with me in real life.
Yeah.
So he was there when I got this. So I have like
Oh, cool. Yeah.
IRL permission.
So yeah, I basically originally WordPress told me no, and then I just asked Fluffy Ponies. He said yes, and then I got back like, yeah, that's what the guys told me I could, and they looked at it. All right, we'll look. And they looked at it. Said, all right, but you got to switch to GPL3. Sorry. All right.
All right, man.
Um,
Well, dude, that's Vidyan, right, man? I mean,
yep.
guys, check it out. Let me know if you have a WordPress website and you want to, earn some crypto in the background when people visit your website. Check out Vidyan in your plugins for WordPress. And let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. I love the concept of it. Where do you see it, though, applied somewhere in real life? Maybe mainstream, maybe retail. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. And James, let them know where they can find you again. It's vidyen.com. You're on Twitter and Facebook and all that.
Yeah, it's VYD. I'm sorry, VYD. VID. I think something like VIDYEN.com. I'm actually Felty256 on Twitter. Otherwise, just go to vidyan.com, and there's a link to the Discord and everything else on there as well.
All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, click subscribe, flick the alert bell right next to subscribe, and have a day.
Thanks, Ken.